This week on Hermitcraft.
Guys, I've just embarrassed myself. That was so cringe. That's so embarrassing.
Welcome to the Hermitcraft recap. My name is PixelRiffs, our writer is LoyXP. Captions on this video were provided by Liara. And apparently all you need to do to make a smash hit Hermitcraft minigame is guarantee they'll be blindsided by Ravagers constantly, award them points for staying alive, and put an absurd amount of polish into the final product. How hard could it be?
What's the name of the game? I keep calling it Frog Game. I don't know what it is.
Ravager Rush.
Ravager Rush, okay. I prefer Frog Game.
Everyone is playing Etho's Ravager Rush, which is what he's calling the Frogger minigame just in case Konami and Sega call from the year 1981 and demand he cease and desist. Everyone on the server is demanding he continue, because any opportunity to defy death in pursuit of a high score and a monthly prize trophy is going to put this server into overdrive. And you've got to wonder if anyone's actually cashing in their tokens for Froglights, or if Ethos just snuck his way into providing the server's most expensive slime shop. But it's time to find out, so let's take a look at all the events and mishaps that occurred on the Hermitcraft server this week.
Oh great, what's this?
This is a robbery.
Sure enough. Targeted.
Starting with Azuma Void, who has now drawn up a full PDF about the Community Fan Art Museum, so we feel obligated to direct the community fan artists to it. If you make something that belongs in a museum, you should probably check it out on the Hermitcraft subreddit. Or don't, I'm not the police.
Stay tuned to Corrales' channel as well to find out how his submission process is going to work. Quite a few things that need to be considered.
While his server mates are preoccupied running across a busy highway, Azuma Void puts finishing touches onto his Mace Race minigame, like adding the celebratory fireworks to the winner's side and testing it to find out that the touches are not at all finishing.
Did the fireworks go?
They did not go off, no.
Turns out the Pogo tutorial actually has a few spots open for exploits, like the fact that you can just kind of run through certain areas and it would be faster. Naturally, Etho and Rendog are the ones to find this out, as they're the ones to first go clubbing and decide once and for all which one of them is the Mace Race ace.
Oh, Ren, don't turn around. No, this is the worst timing.
What's happened?
Go away.
What's happened?
There's a pillager outpost raid. Oh my god.
Shoot him! Shoot him!
No, you can't shoot them because then they'll break the course. Just
Even a pillager intervention will not keep Rendog from contesting the trophy and capping off the contest with a perfect run against the course creator. Ren comes away with a new hat, and he'll be wearing it with pride for at least the time it takes to start the wall around the new scoot ball field.
We don't usually win stuff on this channel, so when we do, it is a wonderful and blessed moment of joy.
It turns out the wall might require planning permission from the local residents, since it chomps a bit of Hypno's backyard, to say nothing of the noise pollution when the stands are packed with spectators and the armadillo is being air hockeyed around the pitch. But Ren has an entire to-do list for Scootball, so he has plenty to work on even if the neighbors kick off.
This wall is going to require some very serious terraforming around here, and we're slowly creeping into Hypno's area, which, you know, you hate to see, but I'm going to have a chat with Hypno at some point, see if he's okay with this.
Thankfully, Corrales has just raised the property value with the fan art museum popping up seemingly overnight, and he continues to spam the mega build button as the backyard of his tropical resorts transforms into a jungle mountain and the area right by it into a small plains airport. In his building frenzy, he couldn't find the time to deliver on his permit promises, but luckily Pearlescent Moon was there to fill in the vine shop.
I ain't gonna build a new vine shop, but then I felt like, Pearl, she's amazing. She can get the permit. And she did.
Which, of course, in his accent, Corrales mistook for the wine shop, so they made sure to visit and have a degustation. This could explain his Frogger performance later, or at least the many accents Corrales is suddenly displaying.
It's German's accent. What has
I am
this
not.
have to do with wine?
It is simply just wine tasting, you know? It is a wine cafe with a
It's wine
vineyard.
tasting.
And
You should be
test
speaking
wine.
Italiano. Mamma mia, molte buone. Pasta,
Only
pizza,
Italian
macaroni.
right now.
XB Crafted also falls victim to the Frogger craze, bringing Corrales along for the ride. With supervision from BOO, who only seems to be there to make sure they don't beat his high score, they parkour their way into traffic with only occasional success, but have a lot of fun doing it.
But that is pretty, like, if you learn, like, the whole, what you gonna call it? What is it?
Nice! 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 Nice!
On the flip side, XB's food business is still hurting from the noise problem, which only gets more confusing when a bunch of dogs alert XB and Corrales to the fact that they are themselves trapped down a well, which we're pretty sure makes them underdogs.
What's down there?
What is happening?
This
Air
seems very
dispenser.
cruel and unusual. I don't know what this is.
Fortunately for XB, BOO may be interested in signing the ongoing petition for noise reduction so he can buy his golden carrots in peace. Because revenge is a dish best served cold. And that's a joke that probably works best if you have the subtitles switched on. Either way, BOO has a lot of horses to breed, and for once, it's not because he wants to populate his plains biome with them. He's doing that with rock formations instead, inspired by the now demolished Ore Mountain at Good Times with Scar's base, and building a series of mountainous chunks in the nearby grasslands is a good way to give the view a little more visual interest.
It's cool, but I just filled it with foliage. This thing needs a haircut. A big haircut.
Instead, the horses are bred at Joel Smallish Beans' mountain base and released into the streets as a horse curse, one for each of the 67 horses Joel killed to mount their heads on the High B-Dubs billboard. Considering this must have taken a lot of time and definitely took a lot of diamonds for all those name tags, this was a pretty expensive way to guarantee Joel has killed at least 134 horses.
There's so many. Horse curse on you. I think this is meant to be some sort of prank to make me angry, but... Oh, baby. We eating good today. We eating good today.
Joel's way of dealing with the sudden stampede is to simply time-lapse their killing, as if this whole bit wasn't already just beating a dead horse.
Going to free cam mode, it says horse cursed in flowers, which actually looks really pretty.
Well, in case you stopped watching his video after the whole minute of horse dying noises, here's what you missed. Just like the rest of the players, Joel is addicted to Etho's Ravager Rush, so much so that he coaches Pearlescent Moon through it.
I'm fine, thank you very much.
You watch out, yeah. Oh, Pearl.
I'm not fine, thank you
No,
very
you're not
much.
fine. Okay, what you need to do is...
His experienced city block has a filled-in interior now, meaning you can get extra lost in his part of the map. And we have this clip of him that sounds like a pretty handy thing to send to your group chat.
Guys, I've just embarrassed myself. That was so cringe. That's so embarrassing.
Animals seem to be flocking to Joel's city, as Pearlescent Moon demonstrates when she builds some giant post office birds airdropping purple packages all over the city.
I think it looks pretty cool. Each of these little pigeons that I've made right here all hold a shulker box. I know you can't see it because the entities just aren't rendering in.
Pearl's businesses definitely have unconventional delivery methods. After demolishing the showroom for lily pads and ferns, Corrales convinces her to turn her cafe build into a vine bar. All he had to do was give her a hat and the permit for vines and continue to dodge the question about whether he'll bring his boost shop to the yard.
Because we want to make this like the
technically
green
I
area,
could.
so it'd be so cool if we had a little bush shop over here.
Don't make me move it. Don't make me move it.
Why not?
Inevitably, Pearl ends up claiming the Ravager Rush high score and then adding to it off camera, but she's not the only one with her eyes on the trophy. If his Twitter is to be believed, Cubfan135 poses an active challenge to her score, having no life to much sillier speedrun categories for far less acclaim.
By the way, we really did need these frog lights because we need to basically put down some lighting behind our honey and honeycomb farms back here.
Though getting ran over by Ravagers clearly unlocks something decked outian in Cub, as he then ventures into the deep dark to gather skulk blocks of all things. The skulk must be spread, etc., but there are farms available. He of all people should know how proficient a catalyst can be. Either way, Cub returns home with a bag full of murder block and then essentially fill buckets the whole terrain around his house. It's still only the first expansion, as he calls it, so the server mates better stock up on hose if they ever want their place not covered in inky black.
So now I'm planning to basically bring the skulk all the way back to basically the base of this mountain here. We're planning to massively expand the base while having already expanded the base massively.
Speaking of the latent decked out addiction, Tango Tech finds out what it's like to be ran over by a minigame Ravager on multiple occasions. But the allure of the Frogged Out 2 Frog Harder doesn't distract him from building his own, much more plate-based minigame. This time, Tango assembles the customer seating mechanic and sees to it that customer satisfaction is something achievable too. He then has to playtest if bringing any of the guests their order on time is something achievable. In short, you wouldn't last a day in the cafe that he's been raising.
There we go. But what? Why are you there? What the what? We're going to take the snowball. We're going to shoot the thing. We're going to get the... I actually like the campfire as the default cooking mechanism. We got to do this, and then we do this. And now we wait. Woo! Okay, it worked. I'm so excited right now.
Playtesting is on the cards for DocM77 in an incredibly literal way. He puts the finishing touches to his 52-card deck, shows us all the faces and aces, then painstakingly shuffles all the lore text onto them and sets them up to play the game.
But yeah, it's just taking forever. It's really really tedious, but in the end it will be worth it. The two decks will be clearly distinguishable and it's nice.
The first Hermit to ante up is former professional cardboard slinger Rendog, and the pair of them run a game for diamonds to make sure everything operates smoothly. By the end of it, they're planning for a proper championship, and Doc M drops by the hallowed halls of Ravager Rush to compare notes with the owner of the other high-stakes game in town.
Alright, don't worry though, I will not go into sweating the game. You won't have to worry about me. I'm not going to spend 2 hours trying to break it, but it's not going to take long and your digits will run out, you know that, right?
Yeah, they win then.
Oh, okay.
I'm good with it.
While everyone else debates the best FOV settings for Ravager Rush, we have to hand the best audience layout to Joe Hills, who overlays a top-down view and a close-up of the scoreboard to his gameplay captured using Replay Mod. He even manages to beat Cubfan's score, although at the time Cubfan's score was 6, so something tells us he might have a tougher time now. BOO's horse naming and shaming left Joe with a modest firework budget, which is only a problem when the Popos show up while he's buying ammunition.
Let's see how fancy this one is. Woo, creepers! Very fancy.
But now he has flight capabilities again, Joe returns to the Homedale project to continue work on an enormous building made of packed ice, guaranteeing it will eventually become the server's coolest museum, and shares stories from his recent wedding, side by side with his pitches for how to turn Nicolas Cage movies into match 3 games.
The movie, Longlegs, it stars Nicolas Cage. It'd be kind of like Bejeweled, except instead of swapping around gems to match them up, the grid would be full of randomized porcelain parts of life-size dolls. You'd be reallocate until they were properly aligned into complete sets.
In the meantime, Good Times with Scar, the notable weaker man of the server, is constantly having a face-off with Minecraft's most inconceivable monsters, hoping to add the outcasts to his mob shop's arsenal. Pig, Adaptation, The Sorcerer's Apprentice. His safari comes to a wonderful finale when a thunderstorm grants Scar not just the charged creepers, but even skeleton horse jockeys. Even he will have to keep those away from certain server members.
No, it doesn't work. In the comments, tell me how I can capture those guys in a boat or a minecart. What is that behind me?
The customers remain much more humble and just order some parrots air delivered to their doorstep, and Scar obliges since you can fit a couple of birds into the flying boat. Exactly a pair of troopers, would you look at that? But Scar takes his air delivery further and once again expands his zoo train, this time with a floating train car attached to a massive bundle of balloons. This sky trip is quickly discovered and commandeered for Cubfan's secret hideout number 45.
What the heck? Cub's secret hideout 45? This is Scar's secret hideout. When was Cub over here?
And finally there's Mumbo, who discovers why he never meddled with the armor stand book before, because this is the result.
I mean, I can't make the scale work. It's the widest flamingo I've ever seen. Oh no. Oh my goodness, I have tears in my eyes. I think it needs to stay.
With this dark magic done, Mumbo returns to form and starts an industrial district for the first time since Season 7. A sugarcane farm is the first item on the cards, but unusually for Mumbo, he's lacking in redstone for components and has to buy the premium stuff.
Wow. 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 Oh, this pains me. I think that's as much as I'm going to do. I think that's as much as I'm going to do.
One thing he refuses to buy is sand, especially since he's owed some by his share of Doc M's woodshop. Fortunately, Joe Hills has a helpful tutorial for how to acquire it, which basically amounts to how Mumbo gets the sugarcane for the farm, breaking into someone else's auto-sorted storage chests. I guess Doc M's premium redstone approach subconsciously made its way into Mumbo's vocabulary as well, because he uses gold blocks for redstone now. But with a series of crafters all set up to make paper, and that saving him on half the cost of firework rockets, Mumbo is close to having a license to print money. And that's about it for this week's recap. Our writer is LoyXP, and my name is Pixel Riffs. Captions on this video were provided by Liara. Don't forget to leave a like while you're still here, and subscribe so you won't miss future recaps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.